what da danyo what da dang and go danyo oh what da dang. This is the voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must, it would only be on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. Here we don't criticize, but if we must, it would only be on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying, remember, that we are the voice of the people in the service of God and country. Here we are not neutral. We have taken sides, the side of the truth. That is why we are affectionately called the headquarters of the truth. Now today we have some really interesting stories to look at as usual, and I need you to be part of this. Now the very first story we are looking at today says, and I read from Ghana Web, NPP withdraws from Tamale Central Bye Election. And I read, now the new patriotic party has announced that it will not participate in the Tamale Central Parliamentary Bye Election to replace the late Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, the member of parliament for the constituency, who died in the August 6, 2025 helicopter crash that claimed 8 lives. Now the decision was made at a national steering committee meeting held at the party's headquarters on Monday, August 11, 2025, in line with Article 10.1 of the NPP Constitution. Now, in a statement issued by the General Secretary Justin Kodria Frimpong on Monday, August 11, that's yesterday, 2025, the party noted that the circumstances under which the Tamale Central seat became vacant and the potential for heightened national polarization at this critical time influenced their decision. Now, the NPP is of the belief that it would be inhumane and unconscionable for anybody to subject the nation to a competitive process in search of a replacement for the departed MP. Now, the party believes that the tension and acrimony often associated with the conduct of by-elections in the country should be avoided. First and foremost, I will wish to congratulate the NPP and say that I didn't see this coming, because you are so greedy for power. You can do anything at all for power, including pushing a liar in front to keep lying night and day. So for you to come out and say, hey, you know what? The circumstances leading to this departed soul going home, we don't think that is conscionable to engage in any competition in order to replace this person. My brother, my sister, it is respect for national duty, first and foremost. How did this MP lose his life? It wasn't through a long, protracted sickness. It wasn't through any other thing, but in the line of duty. He died in a gory accident, if I may put it in that form. My brother, my sister, this MP, the least said about the death, the better. We have to send samples, body parts, to another country in order to put a name to the corpses. For me, my brother, my sister, it is just too much. For the first time in a very long time, I am seeing what in football we call fair play in our body fabric of politics. In football, when a man is injured My brother, my sister, another player, even at the point of scoring a goal, might just push the ball out of touch, maybe throw or maybe over. My brother, my sister, it's not because they cannot score. It is all because of what we call fair play. Maybe if this person was not injured, he would have challenged me very, very well, so that at least it would have been competitive. But where you have a field day, because one man is injured and lying down, cannot do anything, and you go and score, how do you feel? Sometimes they even score with their hands. My brother, my sister, a very good team will refuse to celebrate this kind of goal. In fact, a very good team might even protest against itself and say that in the name of fair play, this goal wasn't a goal. In fact, it was a handball. That is what is happening in the body fabric of our politics right now. And kudos to the NPP, my brother. Murtala lost his life in a way that we do not feel comfortable repeating. And for that matter, if a political party that is known to go boot for boot, all die be die, can come out and say, hey, you know what? Our conscience does not serve us right to go there and compete. For the first time, we are hearing something that makes a lot of sense in our dirty politics. Many people might also say, oh, even if they compete, they will not even win. They know that they will lose. It's neither here nor there. My brother, my sister, at least if they compete, one thing is assured: violence. Violence is assured. Even if they will not win, there will be violence. Almost every by-election has a certain level of violence. The most peaceful we have had, my brother, my sister, was probably the one that brought Jackie Kwesi back. Even with that, we saw what happened. Slaps were exchanged and delivered on a silver platter. The one recently that had all been win, my brother, my sister, we saw how a flying antelope knocked down Hawa Kumsin, and she fell like a sack of cocoa to the ground, my brother, my sister, struggling to get up again. My brother, my sister, they set up an investigation team. It looks like it has fizzled into oblivion. Many good-minded people have, in fact, condemned this dastardly act. Today, if the NPP of all parties can come out and say, you know what? Hey, we are not competing, not because we are cowards, but for two very important reasons. Number one, the way in which that MP passed on, we see it as an honor to allow the same political party to present another person of their choice to take over the mantle. After all, he died in the line of duty, the same line we all want to go, at least. Number two, every by-election in Ghana comes with a certain level of violence. We want to be able to stay away from this violence, at least not at this time. We can't afford to have helicopters crash landing, people losing their lives, and so on and so forth, at a time that 16 children just went down the drain. And it doesn't look like anything has been done about this. For the NPP, I clap for you. I clap so much for you. You are beginning to gain some aspect of respect from me. It's not a party that I like, my brother, my sister, but I am telling you that these are the things that earn respect from well-meaning people for your party. Not the chewing of ballot papers in parliament, beating each other in parliament, breaking the legs of tables in parliament, breaking microphones in parliament. No, not that. not dirty politics, not the arrogance. To the NPP again, please, love and respect. In fact, Ghanaians are applauding you. We appreciate you. Now, there's another thing here that I would like to look at, and it looks like it's a rejoinder. It's a follow-up to what I just talked about. And I'm reading that from Ghana Web. It said, we expect NDC to exit Akwatia contest, as we have done for Tamale Central, Nanabi. And I read, now, the national organizer of the new patriotic party, the NPP, Henry Nana Boakye, aka Nana B, has called on the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, to withdraw from the upcoming parliamentary by-election for the Akwatia constituency, which is slated for September 2, 2025. Why couldn't they find any other day but this day? That's my birthday, and that day I'll be 51. My God, 2nd September. Hallelujah. Now, speaking in an interview on Joy News on August 11, 2025, Nana Boakye, aka Nana B, asserted that the NDC must withdraw from the Akwatia by-election, just as his party has withdrawn from the Tamale Central by-election, whose member of parliament, Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Muhammad, died in the tragic August 6th helicopter crash. He asserted that the ruling party, as a sign of respect for the 5 people it lost in the helicopter crash, should not go into active politics just after burying these people. That is my expectation. But we leave it to them. The reason why I say so is that Akwatia is in the eastern region, and the NDC has lost 5 important party dignitaries, and we are mourning with them. So for me, you have a stalwart like Honorable from the eastern region. I would say that right after the state burial, then we enter into such fierce contest. For me, it will not serve his memory right. I would say that if I were in the NDC, I think that the tension in the country, we can lower it, we can bring it down. Recently, we had a Blakk, which was a negative story, and then we have had this devastating news of the helicopter crash, and after this, we have a by-election ahead of us. It is their decision to make. For us, we are of the view that we do not think that we need to contest in the Tamale Central by-election. He said the Akwatia seat became vacant following the death of the Member of Parliament, Ernest Yao Kumi. Why should the NDC withdraw from Akwatia? Why? What cheap politics is this? You have just come out with a very, very important press statement. Oh, because of the circumstances under which 8 people lost their lives. Their bodies were charred beyond recognition. They were on a national duty. Like Uriah went to the battlefront on behalf of Israel and King David, only to lose his life. My brother, my sister, watch this. How did Ernest Kumi die? Was he not the same guy who the courts tried to stop from calling himself an MP, and he defied that and went and still had the swearing in, and in parliament he had to be chased out in one way or the other to run out of the place? Was it not him? If I am wrong, tell me I'm wrong. There are too many things happening in our politics. A lot of them we cannot keep pace with. Was he not the same person? What about him is deserving for anybody to say, oh, I am not going to contest this seat? Let us know. At least you have given 2 very important reasons. And one of the most important is that these people died in the line of duty. How did Ernest Kumi die? With all respect and honor, my brother, my sister. Was he not the same MP who was being chased by the courts and being stopped from calling himself an MP. And he was defying all this and still going to the Parliament House. There was one time he had to run out of the Parliament House when a journalist was trying to speak to him. In fact, he got mad and angry and almost violent. Was it not him? If I am wrong, draw my attention to this. So, my brother, it is a fair competition. We need to go ahead and compete, especially that Ghanaians have rejected the NPP massively. Right now, what President Mahama is doing in terms of resetting the economy and beyond, a lot of Ghanaians are so appeased. The least they hear about the NPP, the better. This is an opportunity to increase the NDC's number in Parliament. Yes, the man is gone. It's a sad story. I don't want to see people die. I want them to live and become better people and be able to serve our nation better. But death is an end that will come to everybody. They say, oh, actually, we all will climb it. That is why we hardly speak ill of the dead. But if the dead was really terrible, I think that we should speak ill about these corpses and make sure that people learn, the living will learn from the mistakes of the dead. I'm not in any way trying to cast shadows and doubts on anybody who is gone. But let truth be told, it is all in the service of our country and our nation. Let's give honor where honor is due. If people serve the nation very well, we have to give them their bouquet of flowers, even if it is posthumous. And if they were terrible, if they were thieves, my brother, my sister, let us give them a big beating when they die. I leave it here. Now the final story today is quite interesting, and my very good brethren, Agyapong, is speaking. He says, end the bloodshed in by-elections by scrapping it. And I read, aspiring presidential flag bearer of the new patriotic party, the NPP, and the former general secretary, engineer Agyapong, has issued an emotional and urgent plea to Ghana's political establishment to end the violent politics that have turned by-elections into battlefields. Now, in a powerful open letter addressed to the Speaker of Parliament, the leadership of the NDC and NPP, the Electoral Commission, the Peace Council, and civil society, Mr. Agyapong warned that the nation's democracy is at risk of being permanently scarred if leaders do not act now. We have witnessed by-elections develop into scenes of fear, aggression, and needless damage to lives and property. He wrote, citing bloody flashpoints from Etiwa and Chirponi to Akwatia and Ayawaso West Wagon. Now, the most recent reminder, he said, came in July 2025 during the Ablekuma North polling station rerun, which saw state-linked forces, law enforcement hesitation, and targeted attacks. All too familiar hallmarks of dangerous political culture. These are not distant memories, but part of a disturbing recurring cycle. This can no longer continue while we grow numb. He declared, adding that democracy cannot flourish amid fear, violence, and impunity. So what is his proposal? To break this cycle, Agyapong is proposing a radical shift when an MP seat becomes vacant. The party holding the seat should simply select a successor internally, not by elections. No political flashpoints. The approach saves public resources, protects lives, and thwarts the escalating cycle of partisan violence. Well, Mr. Agyapong has spoken, and I think that there's some wisdom in what he has said. Too much violence, and if we don't want the violence, and if we also want to save resources, let us just allow the party that won that seat to go ahead and pick a replacement for the departed soul. My brother, my sister, it won't be too bad. It won't be too bad because the people still have to be represented. My brother, my sister, how about getting another MP from the party to pick up the duties of the fallen MP rather than replacing him? How about that? Why am I not totally in support of a replacement? My brother, my sister, there are times when the party in power performs so abysmally that these by-elections, in fact, play back. What do I mean by playing back? When the party in power has this number of seats in parliament and it starts misbehaving, the people are looking for an opportunity like a by-election to teach them a good lesson. So if the party has an automated system of replacing its members, then it foils and undermines the people's power of having to teach this party in power some lesson or beyond. I don't know how many people understand what I'm saying. But what Mr. Agyapong is saying is not bad. We are only looking for an improvement because the people would still have to be represented. So when an MP goes down, what happens? Should we allow the party that was holding the seat to pick another person? Should we? Should we not? Or should we get another MP from the same party to add the duties of this other MP to his duties? If a minister can be an MP and an MP can also be a minister, my brother, my sister, it won't be difficult for another MP to pick up the duties of this fallen MP. How many people agree with me? That way, my brother, my sister, at least it will save us another voting, save us another number in parliament. It's just like that. That is what I think. What do you think? What's your opinion? Now, the very last thing I will look at will take me just about 2 minutes. And it says, helicopter crash. Adequate compensation must be paid to bereaved families. And this is former Speaker of Parliament, Michael Quay. My brother, my sister, and this is from Ghana Web. What else can I say? They have gone down in the line of duty. My brother, my sister, I don't like the word compensation as if some wrong has been done. To compensate is to reward for a certain pain that somebody has gone through. To serve your nation is not a pain, it's a joy. I don't like that word. Compensation. When you break people's houses, they go through a certain kind of pain because they have lost their houses. So, you compensate them. When a man works so hard for his nation and he loses his life, in very serious countries, people applaud this person. They celebrate this person. They don't mourn the person. I remember when one of my uncles was going down, He said, it is not allowed for anybody to cry at my funeral. I want everybody to be happy and celebrate my life. There's nothing about my life that has to be a pain to anybody. Celebrate my life. Every Ghanaian, well-meaning Ghanaian, should be looking for that. Why are you going around crying when people have achieved so much? Yes, it is painful in one way or the other. Why the word compensation? I think that I prefer the word reward. If our families perform so well for the state, go down all in the name of the state to rise, it is time to give them a badge of honor for the dead. My brother, my sister, but we shouldn't always wait for the dead before we celebrate our heroes. I don't know how many people understand this. Yes, 8 people have gone down. It is so painful that they have gone down. But the joy is that they went down celebrating their nation and uplifting the flag of the nation. For that matter, the word compensation for me is not appropriate. Let us give their families a badge of honor. They should have a certain beautiful badge, something to remember these great souls who have gone down. It would only be a bonus if we decide to take care of the children that they left behind. In fact, it's a necessity. The children, as if they had some, widows, if they had some, the aged in their families, is all part of the badge of honor. It's not a compensation. I leave it here.